And welcome back to our From the Bench podcast here again from the Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish. As it's springtime here in the Northern Black Hills, and we got spring baseball for the first time this season here in Spearfish. And with that, I am joined by head Spearfish high school baseball coach and Post 164 head coach Parker Louks joins us in the studio. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Clayton.
Oh, studio restaurant joins us on the podcast as we've been busy with a bunch of state basketball with basketball and winter sports wrapping up. First, congratulations to Spearfish basketball, girls and boys basketball for making it to the state tournaments, and girls finishing 6th, boys finishing 7th. Again, I'm your host, Clayton Davis, a former Black Hills State University Yellow Jacket and KDSJ-TV producer. And again, running the camera again. He's number 2 on the camera, but number 1 in our hearts, Paul James here. With KDSJ-TV helping us out again here. And again, our wonderful venue here, the Millstone Family Restaurant, has been giving us our venue ever since this podcast got up and running. So with that, Parker, again, thank you for joining us in the restaurant and ready to talk some spring baseball for the first time in Spearfish.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for, I think, kids, community, everybody around. I think it's going to be awesome.
So we might as well just jump right into the episode. And you guys actually just kicked off the season last night in Rapid City. And talk about the doubleheader you guys had yesterday. Yeah,
that was a JV doubleheader. I think it went really well. Offensively, we were on fire. I mean, 22 hits in 2 games. I mean,
holy cow.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think, pitching, it's early. We're always going to have our struggles. This year we've been really talking about, first pitch strikes, attack the hitter. I mean, make them beat you, put the pressure on them. It's not on you. And, I think we struggled with that, but it's obviously going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
It's early. But defensively, had some great, plays. I mean, we turned a double play. It looked incredibly clean. I'm very happy with that. I mean, in March, we're 2 weeks outside and we're able to do that, hit the ball really well. And, we should have won game 2. Honest to God, if you get 10 hits in a game, you probably should win. But, it wasn't in the cards for that. But it was a great start to the season. I'm looking forward to tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys will be in Sturgis, and it's JV and varsity, I do believe?
No, it's just the varsity game.
Just varsity. Okay, that's what I thought. But tonight in Sturgis, when's first pitch?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. in Sturgis. So if you have nothing better to do on a Friday night here in the Northern Black Hills, make your way over to Sturgis and watch some spring baseball here as we wrap down the month of March. And talking a bit about this new spring baseball season in Spearfish. As a spring baseball, I believe it's been running in the state for 1 year, 2 years, I do believe.
Well, it's club baseball has been going on a long time.
Okay, that's what I thought. But, first time Spearfish has been having it, to my knowledge. So talk about instead of getting your season underway in the ending parts of May, you guys are swinging the bats in March. Talk about that adjustment and how you and the kids have adjusted to doing spring baseball that'll eventually just lead right into that summer season.
I think the biggest thing was for practice. Starting off, we got to get outside and we just got to go.
Yeah.
That's a different adjustment from when, even with our Legion season, we had sprinkled games, in April, mid-April, late April into May, and then we start going late May. We really had to switch into right away when we get outside, we are go. And I think that has actually benefited the kids, going, our practices are fast, they're quick. We've done a lot of scrimmages, just to try to get these kids prepared for it because, while we only had 2 weeks, everybody across the state only had 2 weeks as well. Mm-hmm. So that's, that's a fun part about it too, where, I feel like spring baseball is wide open for anybody in the state just because, it's who gets hot and who's cold and who's ready. It is rare that you see the high school state championship and club win the Legion state championship. It's really rare. But if you're able to do that, hey, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's, it's been fun and it'll be a good opportunity just to play, what I would basically call almost a spring training. You get your 20 games under your belt. you're able to get the kinks out early, and then we go right into June. We'll have like a 2-week, 1-2 week break period, which will be nice for the kids, almost like that all-star break if you go to the MLB. But go into the summer season, and then we just go. But I think it'll be great to have these 20 games, get the kinks out, give the kids another opportunity to compete for a state title as well, and attach it to the high school. Hopefully, the community is excited about it. They should be. But I love it. I love how it structures our season almost into 2 parts.
Yeah, which is nice, and especially with spring baseball not having that the previous years when the rest of the state has already got 20 games underneath their belt before they go to the Legion season, and you guys are starting fresh. So it kind of evens up the playing field for you guys because you get those 20 games, like you said, almost like a not quite spring training to put the less emphasis on the spring season, but it's almost like that. Like you said, it's kind of the spring season like you see in the major leagues as you have those first few games, figure out what you have, and then again, still compete for it. I mean, not just treat it as a preseason, but almost like you figure out what you have in the spring season, then by the time Legion season rolls around, you already know what you have, you're rocking and rolling. Is there going to be a big fluctuation of kids that either did play spring ball and didn't play summer ball or vice versa, or do you expect on having the same kids for the spring that you'll have for the summer?
It'll be the same except for a couple kids.
Okay.
Both ways. Couple kids, one, family thing, another one. Going to basic training. So
oh, really?
Yeah. So that's really cool to have. And then a couple kids in the summer. I mean, they're doing track.
Yeah,
this spring,
that's fair.
So then they'll be playing in the summer.
And and it's not like the kids that are doing track, they're just sitting around doing nothing either.
No.
They're still competing and using the athleticism. Then you'll get that athleticism. You get input into your baseball team also in the summer, which will help as well. I know you touched on this a little bit, but your overall opinion of this spring baseball and Spearfish and how you've been taking it all in with the first season here in the spring.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity, and I think that there's a push for sanctioning high school baseball in South Dakota. I know that going into this season, Aberdeen was coming back to play high school baseball. They hadn't done that in a couple of years. Then Watertown also agreed, and so we were kind of the last team to fall in. Then, the High School Club Association was very happy with that because every single school in Class A we were there. And I think that's awesome, too, where you have the entire class playing high school ball. You take that 1-2 week short break, and then you go right into the Legion season. I think it's really awesome for the state. I think that the sanctioning part of it is going to be an interesting conversation, actually, in the next couple weeks. I know that they have a meeting, but we'll see where that goes. It's a bit of a hot button issue, but
yeah, that's fair.
I'd like to see it sanctioned. I think that would be really good. I mean, you have almost 47, 48 other states in the union got it sanctioned. South Dakota might as well follow suit.
Yeah, no, it makes sense, and it's like I said, what you get more state. I don't necessarily know how everything runs off the top of my head, but you get more officials from like the state association involved as well, so then you can, I wouldn't say a little more structured, because I know sometimes you'll have people in charge that you might not want in charge when it comes to stuff like that, but I don't know much about it, so I'm going to just shut up before I say something that gets me in trouble. But no, if the state gets behind it, and like you said, I mean, 48 of the 50 states pretty much already do it. So
and then you got Montana and Wyoming. I think Montana already sanctioned it this year. They're already playing, and Wyoming's coming in next year. So we might be the last state in the union.
But no, if that gets underway, that'd be sweet. And then, like I said, as long as it doesn't really change too much or screw up too many things with your Legion season in the summer, then which I wouldn't imagine it would. But again, what do I know? I just work here. It's time to really talk about your team as far as who do you have returning. I know you lost a few seniors last year from the Legion season, Cody Chapman, Travis Dwell, just to name a few. But who do you have returning, and what are some newcomers that might have debuted yesterday that you're excited for this spring and summer season?
Well, we got our juniors from last year coming back. which are our seniors now, Jack Branham, Aiden Meverden, and Owen Bruner. Those guys are going to play a huge role this year as, team leaders, but also they've been around on the varsity level for, if this 2 years, 3 years, this might be their 4th year. They're going to be huge. I got some sophomores that are juniors now. They're ready to step up. Sean Sewell's already been in that role. He'll be back. Zach Wilson is going to be a kid that we're going to rely on heavily. I think he's taken a huge step forward this offseason. He's going to be on the mound, getting that outfield spot. We lost 3 of our outfielders last year. That's going to be a fun role to fill this year. But, we got our freshmen, too, that are becoming sophomores that are going to, take, bigger steps as well. Guys like Tucker Olson, Walker Wiesman, I think those 2 are going to be really huge to our success. They've played varsity baseball now for a full year. Tucker and Walker saw some innings when they were in 8th grade. And they're going to play a huge role this year. I know Walker Wiesman's catcher by trade, but with we lost Braden Eriks due to an injury for this year. He's one of our seniors. He would have been huge to have. But Walker's going to have to take a role of playing short. And I think he's ready for that role. He played some shortstop last year, looked really good doing it. I remember a big highlight of the season last year was when against Casper. He played absolutely fantastic there at short. And I kind of was like, I think he'll be ready for it next year.
Yeah.
But we also have a really good crop of freshmen, and I'm very excited to see what they can do. Because some of them are going to have to step up. And yesterday, I got 22 hits. 22 hits out of a lot of freshmen
from a JV game too. So
I'm feeling pretty good about that. And it's not like their pitchers were slouches either. Some of the, especially in that game too, we put up 10 hits. That guy was kind of bringing it. So I was very happy with that. So I'm excited to give those freshmen the opportunity to put them into those situations. Especially in the spring season where I don't have to put them in against Rapid City Post 22. I don't have to put them in against Gillette. I don't have to put them in against, Sioux Falls East and go, all right, here you go. I'm going to throw you to the fire.
Yeah.
I can ease them into it and see what they can do in those roles. And I'm very excited. Bray Bauer, Jack Scharf, Riley Fireeisen. I can keep going. Trip Donay surprised the heck out of me last night. Ripping the ball. I was very pleased with that. All my freshmen. I'm very, very happy, very excited to see. I would say that, this year we're a little, I think, young. We're young. We're going to be young. And I love that. I love being young. I'd rather have a bunch of young kids that I can mold and have and develop than being, super heavy at the top where I have to basically replace a whole team.
Yeah.
I love being young. And it seems like we're always young, but I love it. I'm a huge fan of that. And, I think that we can surprise a lot of teams. We really can. I think our pitching staff is deeper, more well-rounded, especially with these freshmen that I see coming in who are probably going to contribute. But I like where we're at. I really do.
That's awesome. Again, Parker Louks joining us on our From the Bench podcast. It's time to reach a segment we like to call the Millstone Minute here from the Millstone Family Restaurant. It's a 1-minute segments where it's quick rapid-fire questions just about everything under the sun. They're not hard. If high school kids can do it, I'm pretty sure you can do it. Or you'll survive.
I'll try.
Some people have freaked out over it, and it's like, it's not that hard. Come on. But the Millstone Minute will be coming up next. We'll send it back to Paul James, and we'll give us our sponsor for this podcast, the Millstone Family Restaurant.
Food at a fair price. That's what you expect, and that's what you'll get at the Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish. Perfect for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or to grab a bite to eat before or after the game. Choose from daily specials, and a trip to the fresh soup and salad bar is always a hit. Plus, the Millstone can accommodate larger groups, like buses or your next meeting in their private party room. So, if it's just you and a friend or the whole team, get a great meal at a great price. The Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish.
And again, to thank our sponsor for this episode, the Millstone Family Restaurant. Again, a great place to eat before or after the contest here in Spearfish. Whenever that's Spearfish High School Sports, Spearfish Post 164 Baseball, Sasquatch also coming up later on this summer as well. or if you just have all the many events coming up this spring and summer in Spearfish, you need a good place to eat. Millstone Family Restaurant's pretty good guess right off of here of exit 12 in Spearfish. Again, it's our Millstone Minutes. You got roughly around a minute to answer a few questions, rapid fire, first thing come to your mind type questions. If you don't get it done under a minute, we won't take away your birthday, so you'll be fine. So,
Thank God.
But anyways, Coach Louks, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. The hardest position to play on the baseball field.
Catcher.
Okay. What's your position of choice if you had to choose?
Catcher.
Fair enough. Favorite food?
Tacos.
Tacos make you happy. Mm-hmm. Why do you coach?
Get back to the kids.
Okay. What's the best athlete you've ever coached?
Coached? Ooh. Hogan Tystad.
Okay. What's on your pregame playlist?
Depends. It's a lot.
Fair enough. What would be an alternate career path?
Ooh. Probably say business.
Okay. What is the most stressful part of coaching?
Game time.
Fair enough. Tailgating necessities.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say it.
Beverages?
Beverages. Yes.
Beverages. That's a good one. And we got one more, but favorite baseball memory?
Favorite baseball memory? State tournament when I was a junior.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's our Millstone Minutes, being brought to you by the Millstone Family Restaurant. Where was the state tournament at your junior year?
Winter.
Hey,
that's an awesome stadium. If anybody can get to Winter, that's one of the coolest stadiums I've ever played at. I will say Winter is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's
about 2.5 hours from where I grew up, and I live in the middle of nowhere. So
yeah. Great stadium, though. I love it.
Really?
Heat Bowl.
I guess I've never checked it out over there, so shows how much I know. But again, that's our Millstone Minute, brought to you by the Millstone Family Restaurant. Kind of taking a turn off of baseball. What do you like to do off-season wise whenever you're not coaching or doing anything with baseball, but off-season hobbies? What do you like to do for entertainment, experiences you like to enjoy here in Spearfish? What's your take of living up here in the Black Hills?
I mean, it's the best place to live in my opinion. My favorite thing is always, I'll get into my hobbies, but my favorite thing is I always have people in my class or my friends, they'll move away. And then a year later, they're like, man, I want to move back. It's like, yeah.
It's hard to get away.
It really is. I mean, you get up here and even if you come to college here, I mean, I know a bunch of people come to college and they stay.
Oh, yeah.
It's a beautiful area. I mean, you could do, look at you.
Yeah. I fall victim to that.
Well, it's a beautiful area. You can do so much. I mean, there's so much to do with hiking. I mean, in the winter, there's so many activities. I mean, like in the summer as well. I mean, the parks, the nature. I mean, you're right. You're 45 minutes away from Rapid City. So if you need to go go do some shopping, you're right there. But I mean, it's a small community that, I mean, it's big enough, but it's, not too big.
Yeah.
It's small enough, but it's not too small. I mean, it's a wonderful community. In the off season, I like sports. I watch a lot of sports. I watch a lot of basketball. Watch a lot of football. I do like to read. I am a librarian over in Belfouche Middle School, so
okay.
It comes with the nature. If I surround myself with books, I find myself reading quite a bit. And reading a lot. I didn't really have a preference. Back when I was younger, it was a lot of Stephen King. But
okay.
Now I'm reading. Basically anything. I've been reading a lot of books about baseball. I mean, the Mike Matheny Manifesto. Man, everybody should read that. It's. I think his approach to coaching Little League and how he did it and how he coaches is something that everybody needs to take. He had an approach of parents, I know you care a ton, and everybody cares a ton about sports, and you should have these emotions, but take a step back. Let the kids learn, let the kids fail, and actually let the coaches fail, because the coaches are going to fail as well, and understand that we're all here trying to work towards what works, and it's always a different system in coaching. So if If anybody wants to read that, you really should. It's a great read. I know it's about baseball, but I think it really transcends into life.
What'd you say the name of the book was?
The Mike Matheny Manifesto.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for those bookworms out there that, or even not even bookworms, or just someone who wants to read a good book, there's one for you. One thing I do have to ask you before we get further in the episode: best all-time baseball movie?
Ooh, I mean,
because there is a lot.
I like Moneyball, but I wouldn't say Moneyball is the best because it's a little inaccurate. Sorry, Moneyball lovers. It's a little inaccurate. Growing up, mine was Major League. I loved Major League.
Yes.
Loved it. But I think as I grow older, I got the soft spot for Bull Durham.
Okay.
I love Bull Durham.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Major League fan through and through. I just ordered a Rick Bond jersey off Amazon. I saw it was on sale. So, I mean, you could ask Paul. Last year, I didn't know a single thing about, I could watch baseball, but I was a rodeo kid growing up. So I always was interested in that when it came to the summer and all that. So, I'd watch baseball, had no idea what was going on. But as far as learning the terminology and all that, I learned from Paul. I learned from my colleague, Cody Oliver. And I think last summer when we first did KDSJ-TV for games, I think I watched the movie Major League at least 10 times. And that's not an over-exaggeration. I mean, it was like twice a week. Just listening to Bob Buchler do call games and that's how I learned how to got my start calling baseball for radio and TV. So
awesome.
Yeah, Major League holds a special place in my heart. And if you those who rewatched our baseball from the beginning last summer might catch maybe a few references in there. So don't sue me, please. But let's talk a little bit about the baseball scene in Spearfish. Of course, we got spring baseball, and we have post-baseball coming up as well. BH softball is doing really well this season. You also got Spearfish softball. That's also happening right now. You got the Sasquatch as well. So kind of the softball, baseball scene, really from the moment basketball ends. I know we have the Queen City Classic going on right now, but pretty much right when basketball ends, it goes straight into baseball and softball now, and it carries it throughout the entire spring and summer. So talk about your experience with kind of the baseball, softball scene in Spearfish and how it just continues to grow.
Yeah, I think, when I was growing up, I think baseball was, something that basically it was kind of you play it until you're 12 and then you move on. Yeah. And softball, I think even when I was growing up, it was, it was tough. I think I had a lot of kids, in my grade, a lot of people I knew that would go down to Rapid City and play softball. And I think, it got better when I was in high school. I still, I'm not going to, sorry, community of Spearfish, I felt like you guys didn't look at us when we were making 4 state tournaments. But anyways, I digress. I also don't think you were looking at soccer when they won a state championship in 2016. But that's I digress. But I think it's gotten better. Adding the Spearfish Sasquatch, that's been huge. I think for baseball and softball in the community. I think Eric Schmidt's done a great job of getting some community involvement there, and I think that there is now, a bigger push and more eyes on the baseball and softball community in Spearfish, and I think it's awesome. I think historically there's been a ton of success in it, and it's something that we love basketball and football because those are two amazing sports, and Spearfish has been great at those too. At times, basketball state championship, we have one. Football, we got 2. And so there is that success in the 90s and the 2000s, but baseball was right there with it. Back in the 90s, the Northern Hills when it was Sturgis and in Lead and Spearfish and Bell, there was success there. There was state tournaments being played. And, when I was in high school from 15 to 18, we were in 4 state tournaments. Yes, we were Class B, but I'll tell you what, 2017, that team we played from Vermilion could have beat any team in the state. Honest. That team was amazing. And so I think it's getting better, and I think there's a lot more eyes not on just only us, but the Sasquatch, BH softball, Spearfish softball. I mean, even down into, the 14U baseball, the Little League baseball. I mean, it's really, exciting to see. It makes me happy because, baseball is my favorite sport. It made me who I am. And I'm so happy to see, the attention and, the excitement in the community.
That's awesome, yeah. And it just seems like the community gets more and more involved. I mean, even just with us doing KDSJ-TV, I mean, we've just had so many people reach out. It's like, it's so nice having you guys do do baseball games, and that eventually led into football and basketball. And then we're starting to make that full circle in our first year, going back to baseball. And yeah, just see the community support behind all of that, and not just baseball, but just all sports. It just seems like one sport success leads to another sport success that just kind of carries on that train. So yeah, it'll be fun to see what happens here the rest of this spring and summer for sure. Wrapping up the episode, expectations for this spring and summer season.
Expectations. I think that's a funny thing. I love the word expectations. Because to me, expectations can always be too lofty, and that's when we get our heart, broken.
Yep.
That's when we have frustration. And in the game of baseball, if you're frustrated and you're not mentally tough, I mean, good luck. You're
fair.
You're going to fail. So I mean, our expectation every year is to make a state tournament. That's the expectation. However, I think I value execution over expectations, and I value the game right in front of us. So if we can get 1% better every single game to where we're at the postseason and we're at the best we can possibly be, that's awesome. So expectations,
Fair enough.
state tournament. Obviously, that's our expectation in the spring season.
Awesome. Well, that goes through my to-do list of stuff to do on this episode. Anything else you want to say to those listening or watching on KDSJ-TV as far as community Spearfish? You got friends or family watching, or just anything you want to say before we pack up shop?
No, I just want to say thank you for watching. Appreciate it.
Cut. And, that will do it for this episode. Again, head coach of Spearfish Baseball, high school baseball, post 164 baseball. Head coach Parker Louks joining us here on KDSJ-TV. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
And again, good luck tonight as well in Sturgis at 6 o'clock, a first pitch as well. Again, that'll do it for this episode. Again, thank Paul James for running camera number 2 and helping out here on KDSJ-TV. I would not know what I would do with my life without you. And again, I'm your host, Clayson Davis. If you want to rewatch any of these episodes, you can go to our YouTube channel at KDSJ-TV. You can rewatch all of our From the Bench podcast episodes. You can rewatch all of last year's baseball games on KDSJ-TV. We also had every single Spearfish football game. We had volleyball. We just finished up with basketball, every single Spearfish basketball game as well on KDSJ-TV. You can go back and rewatch all of them for free, mind you. And for more sports updates, subscribe to and follow us on Facebook at Black Hills Gold Hits at KDSJ to stay updated on everything going on here in the Northern Black Hills, not just from Spearfish, but from Belfouche, Lead, Deadwood, and Sturgis as well. Again, thank you to the Millstone Family Restaurant for giving us this venue, and we will see you guys in the next one. There will not be a new episode next week, but we'll be back in 2 weeks, and we might dive into some more spring sports here on KDSJ-TV. That'll do it. I'm your host, Clayson Davis. Thank you to everyone involved. We'll see you guys in the next one.